This is a bird that occurred in East Texas, in the East Texas timberland area where you've got big trees, pines and hardwoods. And so when settlers came across from the east going west and hit East Texas in the, starting around the 1880s, it got really strong, cutting, logging and removing the big trees. That was the first nail, and the primary nail in the coffin for the ivory-billed throughout its range was the loss of big trees, and quickly the loss of dead trees, and they couldn't recover. Big trees don't grow in less than 100 years of some of these size, with the heart rot that allows the bird to create cavities and so forth. So it's not something that can be replaced overnight with new growth trees. So that was really the major nail in the coffin for the ivory-bill, was the loss of big trees. A big woodpecker needs big trees. And so most of our uplands got logged first. This is all before mechanical means of cutting trees down. So everything was cut by hand. So it was a lot easier to be up in the pines and upland pine trees in the pine forest to cut by hand. And so the bottomlands were kind of last. And that's where any surviving ivory-bills would have retreated or remained, would be in the swamps and the backwater areas where there are big trees down in the river bottoms. And here come reservoir construction and starting heavily in the 50s and 60s. And that certainly didn't help, because some of the best ivory-billed habitat would be underneath Toledo Bend Reservoir, underneath Sam Rayburn Reservoir, underneath Lake Livingston, and so forth. And so I think that was another nail in the coffin for the ivory-billed. So habitat loss by far is the number one reason we lost that bird throughout the southeast U.S., including Texas.